So here's how I reclaimed my health in middle age. I unknowingly struggled with blood sugar regulation and my metabolism. I struggled with weight background as I was about 30 pounds overweight and had been for 10 years. So what I did was I started listening to anecdotal evidence. I did not seek out randomized controlled studies, or longevity, because nobody does that when they are trying to lose weight and feel like, just feel terrible. You don't think, oh, let me go do some research into, a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet or any of those things. They listen to other people and say, hey, this is what worked for me. This didn't work for me, whatever. And that's what I did. I wanted to lose weight. I had some autoimmune issues that I wanted to heal. But mostly I just wanted to lose weight and feel better about myself. And because there are people that share this message of eating a carnivore diet, I started watching their channel. I have watched so many videos, hundreds and hundreds of videos, and read books and, done my own research. And no, it wasn't a randomized clinical trial, but always, some of them I have. But I learned the basic principles of metabolic health and what that means. And it doesn't mean eating, for me, it's not eating, 7 to 8 servings of grains a day with 4 to 5 grains. It's not following the USDA's food pyramid. I tried that. I tried my best. I tried it all the time. I tried moderation. I followed a lot of different influencers. I tried Weight Watchers for many times, different times, starting when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I tried, when I was older and in my 20s, Slim Fast, the cabbage soup diet. And I never looked into studies about it. I just did it because it's working for this person. Maybe it'll work for me. Watching a commercial, oh, hydroxycut. I never did that. All of these messages that we get, that we see in these commercials and that kind of thing. I never thought, oh, well, what about, my bone density or my cardiovascular health? Because you don't really think about that when you're really young. I never thought about that until I was in my 40s. And then people, my loved ones started passing away from some of these issues. And I thought, well, maybe I should learn more about that. And what I found was that, fatty red meat, animal products, butter, lard, bacon grease, they're not bad for you. And it was a huge mental switch. It wasn't like one day I was like, oh, I'm eating bacon and eggs. And then I made the connection that, my mental health is much better. My skin issues are much better. My hormones are much better. And then I started looking into and discovering why your metabolic health matters so much for neurological issues of the whole spectrum of, ADHD, bipolar, Parkinson's, neurological, all these pieces, and how it can change on eating a whole foods. And you need some animal fat. That's what works for me. I'm not here to tell you what to eat. You get to choose. I'm going to tell you what I eat, and that changed my life and made me feel the best I have felt. And I can't even remember if I've ever felt this good, but certainly not since I've been in my 20s. And my blood markers, my lab work is good. It's really good in what the true measures of metabolic health. And it's not, you can be thin on the outside and still have a lot of problems, but I had to measure and manage by doing lab work. And that was, my A1C, my blood sugar regulation is good. My fasting insulin is good. I can go hours between meals. I don't eat as much. I'm not snacking a lot. I rarely snack because I eat, 2 to 3 meals a day. It's usually, and all that happened because I started watching videos on the internet and I started learning, oh, it happened because this person does it like this and this person does it like this. So how can I do it to work for me? Because I'm not going to eat a ton of seafood. I don't like seafood that much. I'm a little sensitive to some of the shellfish. And so I got to do things my way. That is the worst. That is a nightmare in my life. Some people have that naturally as a gift. They like to do that kind of thing. I don't. But I'll tell you one thing I will never do, and it's forget your birthday. I'm really good at remembering birthdays. So it's one or the other. You can have me host you in my home, which I would never do because that gives me so much stress. or always remember your birthday for the rest of your life, and your kids and your spouses and your aunts and your uncles and your parents. Anyway, we all have our gifts. And all of those people telling others, hey, and sharing this message because they taught me how to save myself. Ripple effect. When something changes your life so dramatically as mine was changed by Carnivore, but understanding what is going to move the needle is very important. I think it's foundational. It taught me how to save myself, how to fix myself. And that's why I make videos, because I want other people to say, okay, I can do it like this or like this. And I'm not going to die immediately from a heart attack. Like I said, it might not be overnight. Someone might not see what you're doing because it is extreme. It still seems very extreme and it still seems restrictive, but it's not for me. It is I have food freedom. This is something that is talked about a lot. I am an abstainer. I cannot eat or drink in moderation very well. I cannot eat certain things in moderation. I tried that. I tried all of the conventional ways of doing it. I was kind of a vegetarian. I only ate, skinless, boneless chicken breasts, which I have not eaten in 14 months. I ate lots of vegetables, lots of almond milk. I didn't eat, I did lots of seeds and nuts. I tried all of that. At one point, and I had forgotten about this, but I was in a group and there was a vegan who is very healthy and it works for that person. I even considered it. I'm so glad that I didn't go that route. Well, for one, it wouldn't have worked for me because you have to have lots of different, meal preps and there's lots of different ingredients. And there is an aspect that you have to have supplements and I was never going to be able to eat a lot of food. So I'm glad that I didn't go down that juicing route or, like a vegan route. That would not have worked for me. That will never work for me. Carnivore works for me because it's simple. I have food freedom. I'm not obsessed with food. And until I found out there are people doing this, doing this diet and we're like, well, here's a different way. Here's what worked for me. And here, this is what happened. And thank God for those people, for all of the people that have been brave enough and strong enough to buck the system and talk about their lifestyle. Because it is not easy when most of the people around you think there's medical professionals that say, oh yeah, we don't have any longevity studies. And, in 5 years, that's going to kill her. Well, I have not seen any of the evidence. My own experience, my anecdotal experience has not been that. My metabolism has improved across all measures. I've lost weight. My blood pressure is within range, which I never had problems with blood pressure, but it's regulated. My blood sugar is regulated. My fasting insulin is great. My triglycerides and HDL are great. My hormones are improving constantly. The blood work shows that I have shifted into perimenopause, and some of my symptoms I could tell. I wasn't sure because first of all, hormones are so closely linked and I have thyroid issues that I will always have. So I have to get my thyroid tested. Probably should do it every 6 weeks. I like to get my labs tested for my thyroid because a lot of the symptoms I was having could be thyroid or it could be menopause.